You could definitely handle the guys that she's going to be up here with. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Anita Nekka Jones.
Morning, everyone. What a privilege to start off Sunset Sports Festival. I hope you all recovered from last night. I heard it was very fun. We're going to get right into it because, of course, when it comes to match day experiences, we know how so many sports lean on technology, but in recent years, I think it's gone to another level with the rise of AI. So our three first panelists are going to get into the nitty-gritty of how AI is changing the experience, not just for the athletes on the pitch, the coaches, and of course, the consumers or fans at home. So first up, I'm going to bring to the stage Sasha, Adweek's 2015 and 21 US Executive of the Year, also founder of Sala Communications. A big round of applause, please. We've got Nils joining us too, author of Power Play, the former head of sports in the EMEA region for AWS Professional Services. Lovely to meet you. And then finally joining us for this panel of AI meets sports, we've got Joško, the Regional Adriatic Director for Google. And he asked me to mention as well, former member of the Yugoslav national football team. Welcome. Lovely to have you all. I think AI can seem a bit daunting to everyone, so it would be great if you could all just break down in a few words how you use AI in your day-to-day jobs.
First of all, good to be here. I'm here second time. I was here 4 years ago in the first edition of festival. So great to be back. I think AI is changing everything we do in my industry, in marketing and advertising. I think initially AI was there to kind of help us with any repetitive task in advertising. And if you think about this, like advertising for regular people seems to be this very creative, very sexy industry, but actually it's very much data-driven and it's very much process-driven. So up to 70% of everything that advertising agency does and marketing professionals do could be enhanced or replaced by AI. So just to start with this.
A bit of a scary thought there for those who work in marketing. Maybe Nils?
Yeah, I think, can you hear me? I think I use AI a lot in my private life, and I think especially my wife really likes it because I become more structured and reliable. So I recommend each of you to also not only use it for professional reasons, but it helps in any way. In professional reasons, I think what I use AI most for is become more efficient, right? So AI helps me to create ideas faster. It helps me to reframe problems. So I'm using it a lot. I'm not always using it. The creative process is also something that is very human, I'd say. So AI itself is not very creative, but it can help you, if you are a creative person, to multiply your efforts and to create more in a shorter time, I think, yeah.
Joško, please.
Well, thank you for the question. I was just last night trying to figure out the trip with my daughter to Tuscany, and it came out as a brilliant proposal. But on top of it, in my daily life, I use it for different stuff. I don't know how much your audience is aware of different tools. For example, there is a tool called Deep Research, where you basically put in a prompt. It scraps the web, it comes with the available, publicly available research data, and it comes out with a report. I was doing last 25 years of GDP in Croatia, and the structure of economy, it took like few minutes, whoosh, it came out. If I would do this literally without it, it would take me, I don't know how much time. There is another tool, I don't know if you guys are aware, it's called Notebook LM. And the way this works, you can upload up to 50 different documents into this tool, and it comes out as a podcast of
Wow.
two people. So basically, if there is a topic of your interest and you don't have time to really go thoroughly through it, you basically upload it into the tool, It comes out at a podcast, you're on your way to work and you can actually listen to it. And there are numerous different ways. I mean, business-wise, doing prezos, I was always clumsy in preparing prezos in the sense, you know, I would have my little story, but then this box here and I would lose it and then it would go away. I would waste time on the technical part of it instead of focusing on the essence. Now it whooshes, it just comes out like this. So my point, I'm using it really to speed up and ease up my life.
In terms of the reason why we're here, we're talking about how AI enhances sport and it makes it an even better experience for everyone at each level. Could you maybe give us examples of how AI has been added to sports that maybe we're not aware of and has been subtle?
Question.
Of course, whoever, please. Sasha, Nils?
I can go first. So I think, especially in your job, what most people know about what we did with AWS and Bundesliga is match facts, right? So we are creating more insights that we have not been able to create before. AI is helping us with that. For example, most pressed player or pressure handling, these kind of things. But what is not so much on stage and is very important as well is, for example, we help people like you with storytelling tools like automated commentary systems. So based on the insights we get and what we compare to historical data, we can give commentators, for example, or moderators stories, and we develop systems for that, for example. This is something in sports that I think is not so prominent, but is a good example.
So Sasha, having worked in advertising and you hear Nils talk about the storytelling element, do you feel that's what brands are doing as well when they're trying to get fans to connect with them?
Yeah, I think brands are learning now how to use AI to make deeper connections with audiences. What I mean by that, like if I think about advertising last 5, 7, maybe 10 years, we stopped kind of thinking about this big quintessential long-term ideas and campaigns that will be going for 5 years. Advertising was very much in a kind of area of personalization. So I used to make one campaign that was running for 3 years. Now we're making 300 campaigns that are running for 3 weeks. Because we can, because of AI, because of technology. Same thing will be happening with advertising in sports. So for example, football or soccer is becoming important in the United States because next year is the World Cup. And suddenly everyone talks about soccer. So I was recently involved in a project where we're taking up to 300 hours of soccer content coming from Latin America and using AI to cut that in around 70 different Latino audiences in the United States, and serve that soccer content to people, content that they want to see. Because Mexican Americans, they want to see Mexican soccer and they want to see maybe Argentinian, but they're not interested in soccer from Chile or soccer from Paraguay. At the same time, Brazilians want to see Brazil, Uruguay, and third country. So we're using AI to segment the audience and then to help us repurpose content that goes straight to them. What that means is that within a couple of years, we will have opportunity to seamlessly build sport networks for every single one of you. So right now I watch ESPN or CBS Sport or whatever it is. In a couple of years, I will actually decide which sports, in which format, and how will I watch. When that happens, then advertisers will join and decide which person will get what commercial in what sport. And I've seen ideas that go to the point where e-retailers in America, they actually know what you in a market to buy. I mean, if you went and checked the Nike shoes 3 times but still didn't buy them, they know that you need the shoes. Now, if they know that you are a soccer fan from Brazil that is watching content that is being cut for you, they will serve you commercial for that shoes 5 seconds after your team scored the goal.
Wow. It's that in depth.
So, advertising, while it's scary, but advertising is moving in that direction, and it's more data and science with AI than anything else.
Joško, with the people in here in mind, there will be small and medium-sized business owners who are in the sports world. You spoke about notebooks, LM, a moment ago. I've made a note of it as something I want to look into.
Sure.
Are there any tools within Google that you feel that they could be using to, I guess, make their business more efficient and cut through a lot of the man hours to try and reach more people?
Thank you, Anita. There are actually many tools, but I would rather maybe focus on the main one. Our tool is called Gemini, and my recommendation for the audience would be, and by the way, let's do a little research. How many of you guys are using ChatGPT? Wow, the entire room. How many of you are using Gemini 2.5 Pro? A few enthusiasts? Okay, we're getting there.
Wait, how many people had heard of Gemini before he said that?
Okay. Well, that's cool. My point is, it's one of the strongest and biggest umbrella large language model coming from Google, and I would encourage you at least to check it out, just from a comparison point of view, because what I've said earlier, it was basically coming from Gemini, especially for example, I did an app, guys. The tool created an application for me. I have no engineer background whatsoever. I just had this little cool idea, at least I thought it was cool in my head, and I put a prompt, and it eventually came out. So my recommendation would be, please try to check out the Gemini. And then within Gemini, there's this deep research thing, there's Notebook LM. But even without the tools, my recommendation would be just play with the tools. Any type of learnings you may get of using any of the AI tools will help you in your competitive edge. But if I may just go 1 second back to what Sasha was saying, because while preparing and coming here on the AI in sports, I was not an expert per se, but then I got blown away what is already happening out there and what is coming our way. And to Sasha's point, the overall, generated content in real time, we're talking data analytics specifically. I had a discussion with my dear friend Igor, who is an ex-colleague from Google as well this morning, a huge NBA fan, and he said, Joško, it's mind-blowing what kind of statistics you're already getting, and you're getting this in real time. And then on top of it, you can get highlights created by AI, and to Sasha's point, then you can get, especially in the future, to this hyper-personalized approach, where me being into, for example, Hajduk Split, my club, I would really go into details and find everything that I'm interested in, and this is coming our way, and then with everything that goes with advertisement.
Let's talk about athletes, because of course they're at the core of sports. Nils, you've probably worked very close with your previous role and that link with Bundesliga. How do you feel they're using AI to get that edge over an opponent, for example?
Yeah, first of all, the partnership between AWS and Bundesliga is rather about fan engagement, but what we see is that the new insights we are creating with the help of AI are now also used more and more by clubs and especially the coaches to better understand and compare player performance. That was never our intent, but yeah, it happens. And what I wanted to add to what Sasha and Joško were saying is a big challenge we all have in spectator sports, I think also from their perspective, is Gen Z and Generation Alpha. And what we can do in the future is with AI and with those efforts that we can multiply is target those generations so that it not is a challenge anymore, but it's rather for us something where we can say we can address this now, because what we see in the data at the moment is that the interest in sports in Generation Z and Alpha is declining already, and we have to make sure that we turn this around, right? So looking into the future, everyone in the business, and as Joško said, make yourself familiar with AI, because it's super important that business comes closer to tech, and AI is doing that. And from a sports perspective, for example, a very interesting case was Dirk Nowitzki. So Dirk Nowitzki, and Damian would agree, is one of the most iconic European players ever, right, in the NBA, and it's because he developed something that is a fadeaway, one-handed fadeaway jump shot, and he did not develop it, but his mentor, Holger Geschwindner, created this shot informed by data. And he even used a robot to explain Dirk how to make that move. And what Dirk did was not very creative. It was just practice and practice and practice. And one day it became, his weapon and an iconic move and signature shot. So now think about Holger being creative. Holger is rather not on the performance side, but rather on that coaching side. So Dirk is on that performance side. So Holger is the one being creative, and all of you can, probably do the same when you have the right tools and when you think about how to utilize AI in the right way. And I think this is something to think about from that perspective, that business needs to come closer to tech, especially in sports, and tech will emerge with business. And I think this just multiplies what we're going to see as use cases in the future.
There's such a wealth of knowledge here on this stage. Unfortunately, we've only got about 5 minutes, so I wanted to ask you all your final thoughts in terms of what does the future hold for AI, and maybe what can the people in the room, other than trying out Gemini, lean onto or read into to try and get an edge over their competition in such a saturated market, Sasha?
Yeah, so I think important thing is everyone has to do personal effort to get involved in AI.
Where does that start, though?
Well, listen, it starts with kind of understanding what tools are available, to learn to use them, and then to get inspired actually to think about your current job or current business differently. AI is here and is going to change the world. Now, we can take two different approaches. One is to fight AI, and we're going to lose if we fight AI, or to compete with people who use AI and become part of that group. If you're in sport business, if you're in sport content, AI is democratizing sport, is allowing you to produce cheaper, to distribute cheaper, to understand your audience better, and to give them what they want, when they want it, in a format they accept. So it will be wrong trying to protect and hide behind the old system. It's very exciting to be part of something new. And it's so new that actually anything you invent, it's actually never been done before. And that's so exciting about it. And that's why I left corporate world and CEOs of this and that to be part of this, because I wanted to be part of this new history that's happening.
Is there anything exciting you're working on that you could maybe share a little bit about with us?
What's super exciting, that you can form your sport network. So I am passionate fisherman, fly fisherman. I actually just came yesterday, late evening, back from Iceland, where I was fishing for a couple of days. I am literally talking to a couple of friends in the famous salmon rivers of the world to install cameras and to have a live broadcast of people catching salmon.
Talk to SofaScore.
That's
They're
what I
here.
want to
Maybe
see.
they can create a link for you.
I don't want to see in CNN3 pillow fighting championship of the world. I want to see people catching big fish. So this is just introduction for my next business ventures.
Wow. TBC. Joško, I'll come to you then, please. What would you say to everyone in the audience, other than notebooks, Gemini?
I would just say, stay curious, guys, please. This is an excitement time. To Sasha's point, I love the part when he said it's the how did you put it?
Democratization.
Democratizing. So if I can do an app, guys, with no engineering background whatsoever, imagine what we can do with the help of technology. And of course, I'm focusing on the affirmative part, but not to neglect the potential threats coming at it. But my point is, it's almost an opportunity of a generation when it comes to power of this profound technology. So my little message is, the more you know, the more excited you will get, the more curious you will get, the more competitive, the more efficient, the more productive, and hopefully you're just going to be, you're going to feel better about it.
Nils, come to you as well, please.
What I would love to say, and this is also part of the book I wrote, and it's going to be published
Power
soon.
Play, everyone, it's called.
Unfortunately, in July it will only be published in German, but there will also be an additional
and you can get it with discount on Amazon.
No discounts. All our fees go to charity, to the Klitschko Foundation. But there, I explain in that book something, and that is what sports clubs and athletes, everyone in spectator sports needs to do. Innovating based on the goals or what you want to achieve as a team or as an athlete. And this should all the time lead to better fan experience, because it's spectator sports. So if there is no fans, there's no spectators, it's just sports. When you increase your fan experience, you will gain more attention. When you gain more attention, you will have more opportunities to drive revenue and profits. When you get more profits in, you have more chances, again, to innovate, to invest in innovation projects again. And AI, again, is multiplying that. Everyone will be capable to drive more innovation. But this is actually, you create a flywheel, right? Then you have more innovation, then again, a better fan experience, and this is what you should focus on. So this is my last words for today.
Well, Sasha, Nils, Joško, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the first panel of the Sunset Sports Festival, AI Meets Sports. I'm sure they'd answer any questions if you have any of them, and maybe a discount for the book, I don't know.